2 and 1. All right, so I'm up live on my personal page as well. We're going to refresh that so we can get that link. So I'm actually pretty prepped for today's show, excluding me taking the power out of my computer. So what I normally do when I'm prepping for the show is I've done a couple of different things because we have the FSK admin team helping me a little bit here today, which I appreciate. I got in the chat today and I copied a link to wherever I'm going to be posting, which is my page and the FSK page, and we shared that out. Everyone shared it, said, hey, tune in at 8:45. I'm about 5 minutes late, but this one's going. To try to, reach more people, expand our audience, and get some new people in there. I shared it on about, I'd say, 8 to 10 different Facebook groups, and then I have both my Twitter accounts up. That's taking forever to lock in. It's like Safari's like stupid. I have both my Twitter accounts up, so once my Twitter accounts come up, I'm going to copy the links and share them both on Twitter to get them out there as well. And I am doing Facebook Live from the Freestyle Komics page and my personal page as well. So trying to hit as many people as we can, get that reach out there. Okay, so that's popping on there. And it looks like everybody on the admin team has shared it out for me. So thank you, admin team. Good job. Good job. All right. So let's get into it. So what's going on with Freestyle Komics right now? We are working. No, that's already done. Our next Kickstarter is ready to roll. That is in the caboose. We're doing some cleanups, tightening up some things, figuring out like what our rewards and all this stuff's going to be. But we do have another Kickstarter in the works, and it's about, I'd say, 90% done. And we haven't confirmed a date for that launch of it yet, but it will be soon, and we're super excited about that. Let me see here. Yeah. Because this thing is going to start talking, and I don't want to do that. There we go. All right, so copy that, and now I'm coming over here to Twitter, which is acting up, but there it goes. So that's first things first. That's going to be great. That's going to be big. That's going to be awesome. Then we have our issue. Let's see, Hotshot number 10, done, written, like completely written, and layouts are we're on the layouts. Layouts have been worked out for that. Still going back in. I'm not completely happy with the layouts, and I'm still working out an issue with one of the character designs for that issue. Heroes International number 4 is completely written. I'm going over an ending with the writer. We both have two different ideas for the ending, which get us to the same point, but we're trying to figure out which one works better. So I still got to get with Ethan and figure that out, how we're going to close that up. EmRequest number 3 is completely written, completely laid out. Issue 2 is completely done. Well, no, not completely done. We still had those pages I wanted to work on, but I decided we're just going to roll with it and start getting that book process so we can get it ready, because EmRequest has been selling pretty good, and a lot of people have the number 1 issue, and they're looking for the 2nd issue. So we're going to try to get that rolled out ASAP and working on the letters for that one and wrapping that book up. Cypher. So we got Cypher 1 and 2. Cypher is in progress. We've taken some hits on that one. The internship class did not get the numbers that I wanted this year. So we were real short on that, and we only have a couple interns on it. So and seeing how Cypher is the intern book, and I normally have 5 to 7 people working on it for that title, I couldn't just put it on 2 people to do it all. So we will be moving some things around and trying to get an actual roster and budget together for the Cypher. But the 2 issues that we will be focusing on, The Wolf and Basement of Doom, the scripts are done for those. And we have some layouts for The Wolf done, and we need to get into the layout stage for Basement of Doom. And Zero Event, no, wait, am I there yet? Hotshot? Oh, Vigilance is, we're still on the outline stages of Vigilance. We're at a critical point in the story for Vigilance. So we want to we want to make sure that wherever we pull the trigger and we're sending our character, we want to make sure it's the right move, because we will be introducing Vigilance into the regular world. She will be out of costume in this next issue. So we're tweaking and tightening up the outline for that. So we got Visions, we got Heroes, we got Emeralds, we got Cypher, and Hotshot, and now we're on the Zero event. The Zero event, man, Victor's writing it, and he has worked his magic. All right, he has worked his magic. The outline is completely done. He's worked out PowerPoints for it. The pacing of it is going to be really tight, and we have a slew of character designs that have been new designs and redesigned and touched up by Mike Lancet, whose book Master of the Itch just came out. So I am waiting for my copy of that to come into the mail so I can check it out. And he'll be doing the art duties on that. Mike is also helping us on some of our variant crossover covers for the Visions Kickstarter as well. And I've got the layout for one of those already, and it looks fantastic. So that's where we are book-wise. As far as the admin team is looking really good. After our first meeting, we had a lot of, let's see here. We had a lot of ideas. We had a lot of information to go over. So kind of right now, everyone's in the kind of review process. There's a lot of content with FSK. There's a lot of promo material, Kickstarter information, advertisement, books, characters, schedules, budgets. So everyone's kind of getting familiar with that. I do have another meeting set up for them because we have a couple things in the works to give us some more avenues to possibly gain revenue and expand our audience at Freestyle Komics within our own community and at comic book conventions. So we'll be meeting we'll be meeting for that this week, actually tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about the admin team. They're all got positive attitudes. They all have a lot of energy, and they have begun to dive in on their specific missions. So we are. I definitely feel like it's in the right direction. Not that we were swerving left or right or anything, but I feel like we were already on the path, and now we're even on a stronger path. Like we're building up more momentum, so that's going to be great. Then the FSK cosplay team, we're getting that back in effect. Marcy came out to our last event, which was we were at Gem City, and she was represented as Iron Smith, looking good in the costume as always. She looks just like Iron Smith, and it's awesome to have her there. We are, trying to figure out how to and what is needed to make a hotshot costume, because it's simple, but then we get into the whole mask schematic, and that gets complicated. Vigilance will be making a return to the cosplay arena. If anyone's keeping up on our social media, you'll see that I posted the costume today, and it was cosplay #cosplay legacy, hashtag cosplay next. So we have someone to fill that role for us, but we are not unveiling it yet. We are still looking for a Titan, though. We are still looking for someone to portray Titan in our cosplay team, and we have a nice bundle of treats for the cosplay team that we're going to be doing to really push that narrative for them. Tons of stuff we've been talking over and going into in mass detail this week. And tons of stuff that I'm super excited about. So we got that. Did we get it over here? Yeah, let me get this over here. No. There we go. So that's where we're at right now, FSK. We got the what is it? We got the God of War at GameStop event that we're going to be doing. That will be, it'll be a small event. It won't be as big as our last venue when we did Far Cry. And Far Cry was kind of tiny itself, but we're going to just keep it to 2 events, and I believe that's going to start at 6 o'clock. And plus it was really close to Far Cry, but we want to keep doing something at GameStop, and we know God of War is a big game. So we definitely will be giving a copy of the game away, though. So join us at GameStop Reynoldsburg for that. We will be giving a copy of that game away. And that's FSK right now. That's where we're at. So as to what I'm working on right now, dude, I am super, super excited. I had the pleasure, and I'm still working on it, knocking it out. Working on a project for Dirk and Victor. It's a crossover of their characters, Apex and Julian, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was a blast. I am currently inking that right now, and Veronica Smith will be doing the colors on that. And then I am still in full swing on Ethan Murphy's book, Screen Boy, where Veronica's also doing the colors on that, and I'm doing the pencils on it. I did the character design, and Ethan did all the character creation. So knee deep into that. I just did like a wrestler icon t-shirt logo thing, which was fun from a previous client. Done a few commissions, and finished a new set for UpperDeck. I can't say what it is yet. I have not been approved to announce what it is or release what it is or whatnot. But we got another set coming in there, and I'm working on a set of cards for Bad Axe Studios, and that's been fun as well too. So tons of work, and I am starting to knock things out and get caught up. But now it's time to jump into it here. Where is... You should always keep up a screen that has your list of things that you're going to talk about. So, inspirations. I don't know how many of you guys know it. I like to tell this story. I tell it at my panels and whatnot. But when I first got into comics, I thought comics were pretty stupid. All right, I did not like them. They did not make sense, and I didn't see how anybody could enjoy them. I was in the 6th grade, and I became real good friends with this guy. His name was Tom. We were like best friends in the 6th grade, and he was talking about X-Men and all this nonsense. And I was like, "Oh my God, shut up! I don't want to hear it. I don't like it." And he's like, "What? Have you ever read it?" What's up, Winston? I was like, "No, I have not read it, and I don't like comics. They're dumb." And he looked at me with the most serious face and was like, "Yeah, we can't be friends if you don't like comic books. We just can't. It's not going to happen. So what I'm going to do, because I really do like you, is I'm going to give you a stack of comic books tomorrow. I want you to read them and really give them a chance. If you like them, we can still be friends. If not, we can't be friends." This dude gave me an ultimatum. Real talk. Ultimatum. So I really dug Tom, and I was like, "All right, man, that's cool, man. I'll read your comics, but I guess be prepared for us not to be friends because I'm not gonna like them." Read the books, and I fucking loved them. I don't know what the difference was. I don't know. Well, the difference was the X-Men. So the very first book that I read was X-Men 17. It was the Blue Squad. It was drawn by Andy Kubert. I always destroy his name. I'm sorry. And it was the X-Men Blue Squad versus Omega Red in Russia in the wintertime. It was hard. And the character that stood out to me the most was Wolverine, because he was the shortest, scrawniest character there. He had muscles, but he was like this. He was like freaking 4'2", and that was cool to me because I was short and people used to pick on me and push me around and stuff. But Wolverine, that wasn't happening to him. And honestly, out of all of the X-Men, his power was really lame. He had 6 knives that came out of his hands, and then I realized he had like a healing factor. But like Cyclops had these optic blasts he was throwing out of his eyes. Colossus turned into freaking organic metal. Psylocke was a ninja, and she was a telepath and a psychic sword. Iceman was Iceman with all these ice powers and stuff, right? So, but they were getting their asses kicked by Omega Red. Wolverine got thrown into a tree, shattered the tree. Wolverine gets back up. Wolverine got thrown into the plane, gets back up. Wolverine got thrown into the... Like, nothing would keep Wolverine down. And he kept getting in front of Omega Red, in front of, protecting the X-Men, protecting his family, his clan, but nothing would stop him. And I just love that attitude and that atmosphere. You're still short. Oh, compared to you, Sean, yeah, I'm average height, man. Shut that up. So I really gravitated towards that character and kind of like adopted that attitude of like the never surrender, never die. If I get knocked down, I'm getting right back up and I'm coming back with you just as much force. So that book was super inspiring to me because like when I was looking at the pages, I freaked out, and it was like watching a cartoon or watching a movie, but like the still frame of it, and to see somebody be able to draw this stuff and capture all that action and that storytelling really blew my mind. So Marvel is what got me into comic books and wanted to do it. And at that moment, I knew I wanted to draw comic books. I knew I wanted to be a comic book illustrator. It was the right amount of work for me. So as far as of inspirations and how that comes to like what Marvel has done for me, I've been reading X-Men, Spider-Man. Hotshot's the first book that we did at Freestyle Komics, right? So Hotshot's influenced by mainly Spider-Man and a bit of Wolverine with that never say die attitude and, you know, constant, you know, get back up. But Spider-Man was the biggest influence for Hotshot. And I just loved the fact that I could connect with Peter Parker because at the time, me being in high school, I thought I was pretty lame. And, you know, I couldn't get a girl, couldn't keep a girl. And Peter Parker's life was pretty lame too. So, you know, he had bills that he had to pay. He was always late on that. He, you know, he was a smart kid, but he was failing at school because he was never there. And, you know, I just wanted to live in this whole fantasy world of being a superhero. Like, I wish I had this outside thing or whatnot. But what I didn't realize as a kid is that I really enjoyed that because it was an everyman story. And I could relate to it because I could, even though I wasn't paying bills or anything, I knew my mom was paying bills, and I knew, you know, we had hard times at our house. I knew things were getting paid late, and, you know, every once in a while something got cut off. So I could relate to that, what Peter was going through, because I was going through that. I was experiencing it. And, you know, he wasn't everybody's favorite. He got picked on by Flash. He got, you know, J. Jonah Jameson gave him all types of crap. And, you know, he was just a working dude trying to make trying to do photography. And I wanted to make comic books. But that spirit in Spider-Man, in Peter, is what makes you want Spider-Man to win. So when Peter puts on that mask and he becomes Spider-Man, you want him to win because his personal life is trash. And you're like, oh, he's losing here, but he's got to win here. And you really strive for him. You really push for him to win. So those were big inspirations for me in making these comic books. And then I got to read a little book called Invincible, and I got reopened. Like, my nose was like all the way open to this book. I absolutely love the storytelling in the book, the pacing, the character development, the consequences, the choices, everything about Invincible. Invincible's damn near a perfect comic book. And if you want to put it in the category of a superhero comic book, that's fine. But it is my favorite all-time comic book, and it is taking that bread. 144 issues of just great storytelling and development, and it pushed the envelope of a superhero book and where it can go. And not so much as the character of Invincible is an influence on Hotshot, but it is the storytelling, the way Robert Kirkman tells a story. He'll do a background event that'll happen. He'll do a background story that'll be going on like 1 or 2 pages for 4 issues, and then the 5th issue he smacks you with a whole issue involving that situation, and you're like, well, where did this come from? And then you go back and look, it's like, oh, he was building this up for 3 comics, for 3 or 4 issues, and now here we are. And I love that ability to be able to do that. And the places that he took Invincible and his family and his friends and the other superheroes in this world, like the places he took them, the situations he put them in where they had to make choices, like all that stuff was just like hard-hitting things. And it was never easy. It was never completely black and white with what they did. And that's the stuff that I want. That's what is the stuff that I want engrossed in Hotshot. And probably the final big influence for me on the Hotshot book is Naruto. Naruto is my jam. All right, absolutely love that little dude. My favorite character on there is Rock Lee, but outside of Naruto, Outside of Naruto, Rock Lee is my favorite character, but Naruto, and I know it's been done before. I know it's a trope in manga, but I love how they do it. That again, that never so determined character who isn't as skilled as everyone else, but he has this power inside of him, and because of his potential and how big his heart is, he or she can unlock and challenge these great odds. And I think I really enjoy, even though it was torture, right? It was complete and utter torture watching everyone shit on Naruto for like 450 issues. To give him like no credit for anything he's done, for people not to really see it except for those super close to him, and people to just count him out all the time. So when I got to the one issue, I can't remember what number it was, but it's the one where he saves Gaara. Is it Gaara? Yeah, he saves Gaara, and if I could be wrong, the Sand Shinobi. So he saves him. And he does that in front of everybody. And everybody sees this, like everybody. And, you know, they start cheering for him and they call him a hero. And like that moment was so awesome and so worth the wait. Like I wish and hope that I, as a creator can have the patience to build that type of story up, to build that type of moment up. And I know a lot of people don't like the new Star Wars movie, and that sucks because I really do like it. And I got the DVD, and I got to see the behind the scenes and, you know, Rian Johnson's interviews, and him talking about, you know, how he wanted, like in the Luke Skywalker final moments, how he wanted this super ridiculous fight. He wanted something that was from the Clone Wars cartoons. He wanted Luke to force crumple up the AT walkers or whatnot. He wanted this big ridiculous thing, but then he was like, but what do we do after that? What happens after he does that? How does that affect my narrative and tell the story that I want to tell? And so he knew he needed to do something else. He knew he needed to service the story. And it was his story. He wrote the story or whatnot. So he needed to service that story and not his inner fanboy. and there's nothing wrong with fanboys. Don't get me wrong. What's up, Chris Miller? Oh, sorry. What's up, Chris? What's up, Laura? What's up, Greg? What's up, Bonnie? Sean and Winston. But he needed to service his he needed to service the story instead of his inner fanboy. And there's nothing wrong with being a fanboy because we're all fanboys, we're all fangirls. We all are. But as creatives, are we doing what we need to service our story, or are we just doing what we want to do to service our fanfare? And that's a thin line. That's a thin line, and it's easy to fall on the side of servicing yourself, thinking that you're servicing the story. And I've been guilty of it. I can look back on some of the story or some of the things that we've done, or some sort of, and I can see that maybe that wasn't the best move for the narrative. And I'm more talking about like the stuff that I have plotted for Hot Shot, because like I said, I'm inspired by a lot of things. Like I can watch, you know, I'll watch Harry Potter, I'll watch Lord of the Rings, any movie, you freaking name it. My Hero Academia, Naruto, Sword Art Online. You know, we watch this stuff and I enjoy it and I take it in, and you know, this is stuff that's on while I'm drawing. And I'll get an idea and I'm like, oh man, I want to pay homage to that. Oh man, I think that's cool. How can I make that better? You know, I've been going back and looking at the plots that we have laid out for Hot Shot. I'm thinking like, all right, maybe I don't need to do this because I need to make this moment worth it. And that's hard because you're like, I created this character and I want my character to be cool. But you don't, and it's kind of hard to explain to you, but you don't want to rush it. Like there's a moment happening in Hot Shot that I'm saving for issue 25. And because of the people that I'm working with that are smart, and are just into the comic books as well, because I have these people on my team and we're looking at the plots and where we're going, we stopped and said, are we getting to this moment the right way? Have we been laying down the foundation we need for this moment to happen in issue 25 of Hotshot to matter, to have that impact? And you got to go back and see it. You got you got to go back and look, and you got to look at your map. Like, are we laying down the foundation like we need to? Because if you don't lay down the foundation, right, you the moment that you won't have that impact. It won't have that boom. It won't have that slap. It won't have that emotional grasp that you want it to have. And it's already a game of risk when you're doing that type of thing, right? It's already, because number one, did you write it right? Number two, did you have the right dialogue? So you're talking about just writing that one single moment, but did you lay down all the groundwork to get up to that moment? So if you didn't lay down the groundwork, you've already lost 50% of the work, maybe even more than that. So it's not just like take your inspirations and plot and plan. So that's kind of where I am on the inspiration segment part of this or whatnot. So again, if anybody's got any questions or comments or anything, Sean's tripping. Go right ahead and ask them as they pop up or whatnot. I will answer them. So I'm going to move on to he's dumb. I'm going to move on to my little Marvel segment because I am a Marvel fanboy. I enjoy Marvel Comics. I enjoy the characters of Marvel Comics. They are what got me into this thing. At the end of the day, I want to be drawing. I wanted to be able to say on my resume, I got to draw a Marvel comic book. Right now, I am working on. Well, I've done UpperDeck cards for Marvel Comics, so that's obviously a start. I got my toe in the door. I wouldn't say my foot. My toe is in the door right now, and that's pretty cool. That's fun. That's a good feeling that I get to have when I'm working on those. But Marvel Studios has done an incredible thing with, and you know, whether you hate Avengers: Age of Ultron or not, they have still done an incredible thing of a huge magnitude with 18 films going into Infinity War. April 27th, with the large cast of characters that'll be in it fighting Thanos. And I can only equate this to when I went to go see Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. I think those, and Star Wars, of course. Star Wars is kind of a given. I think these are some of the biggest IP movies, brands that we have of our time. And the feeling I got when I saw Lord of the Rings, the trailer for Return of the King, okay, I was watery-eyed on the verge of tears because I thought Frodo Baggins was going to die. I didn't read the books. I didn't want anybody to tell me. I just wanted to go see the movie, and I wanted to experience. So when it was on the cusp of looking really bad for him, I was in it. I was a part of that. I got to feel that. And I haven't felt that way about, like, I haven't had that emotional feel for a movie since then. And then freaking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 got me. He may be your father, but he ain't your daddy. I mean, that really struck a chord with me. And I enjoy all of these movies. I've enjoyed every single one of them. Some of them a lot more than other ones or whatnot, but just the pieces of the puzzles that it makes. And to segue, that's what we're doing with Freestyle Komics. That's like we have these 5 books, and then we're gonna have this mini series for the Zero event, making a total of 6 that's all going to one point. It's all building up to this one thing, this one big thing that we have happening, and all these are going to be connected. And we're treating it almost in the same light, where if we bring other characters to other books, we don't make a big deal about it, because they're in the same world, right? So they exist. They're going to They're going to bump shoulders. They're going to shake hands. They're going to fight each other. They're going to fight together. But when we get to this big event, yeah, we're gonna promote the crap out of that, and we are gonna make a big deal of that because that is literally a crossover that's gonna happen in all of the books, and to the same light of where the promotion, which is funny, where the promotion for Marvel Studios is. This is 10 years in the making. These movies have been 10 years in the making. That is the thing. It's funny because I hate it when they say it about the comic books. When they say it's been 10 or 15 years in the making. And I'm looking like, you just thought of this shit 2 years ago. Shut up. You thought of it 2 years ago, and now you're making these loose connections to get a stretch of saying 10 years in the making in the comic book. But the movies are legit when they're saying that. And then we can be legit in when we say it at Freestyle Komics because everything that we're doing is going to be pointing to this moment that's going to happen, and it's probably, and I can guarantee it's a sense of frustration for the writers that are at FSK. So I applaud them so very much for being able to buckle down and stick in there and write these stories in the avenue and lanes that we need them to get to the point of where we're trying to be at. And so this feeling of everything that's happening with Marvel, these movies and everything is just, it's awesome. I can't say it any other way. And every time I see them, I've been watching the movies on cable, I've been watching the movies on Netflix, I've been watching my Blu-rays of them, and it just keeps giving me ideas of how like I can make it work and spin in our world for Freestyle Comics and what we're doing with these characters. And I just can't wait to get to that moment. That's why I'm trying to get to the levels where we are putting out more books and having them come out quicker. So I guess all that just to say that I'm super excited and I can't wait. So that's why my next 3 episodes, including this one, is Marvel themed, Marvel Studios themed. They're good movies. I can't wait to see this Infinity War. Absolutely am having a good time with them. Now, I will be doing a countdown list, like I said, from number 18 all the way to number 1. On this show, we will be doing 18 to 13 on the Marvel Studio movies. And next week, I will do the next 6. And then the week after that, right before the movie, I will reveal my top 6 movies. And each one of our main topics and segments will be feature a moment from, Marvel and how it correlates with what we're doing at FSK. So be prepared for that. So, number 18. Number 18 coming in, Thor 1. Man, can you mute that? Can I mute that? And as soon as I say it, they keep talking. So, Thor 1 is, what's up, Ron? Thor 1 is my number 18 movie. I'm not a big fan of Thor. Wasn't a big fan of the movie, but the movie was entertaining, and there were some cool things going on in the movie. But I was more concerned with seeing Thor to see how his origin was, what that they were doing in the movie, and how the pieces connected. That was my big thing with it. I was like, all right, let's just see how it connects or whatnot. But it's not a bad movie. It's just number 18 on my list. I just wasn't crazy gaga to go see it, and I was like, oh yeah, that was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun, right? Number 17, which is a surprise for me because I really had to think about this and I moved some things around. And I think like I'm the only person that really liked Iron Man 3. And but it is my number 17 on the list because as I'm going through this, I really gotta just think about like what movies keep me like in it and super excited and just all about it versus going through the motions. And so Iron Man 3 is number 17, and I enjoyed the extra time we got with Tony, and I did not mind the switch over with whatever the heck his name is. I can't even remember. That's why I didn't mind, because I guess I didn't care about the character. I don't care about the character in the comic books, so I didn't mind the twist that they did in the movies. I thought it was kind of fresh. I'll probably be massacred online for saying that, but whatever. Number 16, Captain America 1. While I enjoyed his representation of Cap so very much, it was spot on and he is the perfect person to play Captain America. But when I went to go see the movie, it was the same thing. It was more of, I just want to see how it fits into the puzzle. Give me Cap's origin, and let's keep it moving. I guess I was less interested in that one because it did take place way in the past, and I knew we weren't going to have any other Avengers connected to it or anything like that potential. But some of my favorite lines and scenes are in Cap, especially before, what's up, Carla? Before he gets his powers. Like, good stuff. And I really just love my man as Red Skull. Number 15, Doctor Strange. Now, I am the biggest Cumberbatch fan out there. I enjoy Doctor Strange. But at the end of the day, it's not up there with the rest of the films for me. It is enjoyable. It's got some good laughs. I think they really pushed his personality to be super likable and funny in that one. But again, my disclaimer, I don't think any of the Marvel movies are bad by any standard. Like, I think they are all good. I think, like, Marvel's worst movie, a comic book movie, is still better than everybody else's comic book movie. And again, take note, that's my opinion. You ain't got to agree with it. You ain't got to like it. So Cap 1 is 16, Doctor Strange is 15. Iron Man 2 is my number 14 on this list. And just like everybody else, I'm a big fan of Tony Stark. I like Tony Stark. I like his snarkiness. I like that he's a jerk. I like how he's portrayed in the movies. And he's fun. He's funny. Number 13 would be Thor 2 Dark World. Now, I severely enjoyed Thor 2 way more than Thor 1. I thought Thor 2 was great. And a lot of people don't like that one. I don't get it. But I thought Thor 2 was great. Loki and Thor together were hilarious. The action was good. I love, like, I felt like he got a boost. He got way more comfortable with the character in Thor 2. There were a lot of good moments in it. Like the one where he smashes up the rock dude and he's like, anyone else? Who's next? Huh? I thought that was really good. I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed Thor 2. But that is my number 13. So we got 18 Thor 1, 17 Iron Man 3, 16 Captain America 1, 15 Doctor Strange, 14 Iron Man 2, and 13 Thor 2 Dark World. So I will be doing the next ones, which will be 12 through 7 on next week's episode of Dear Creative. If you guys have any questions or anything like that for me about this episode or about the business of making comic books or drawing comic books, producing, promoting, or anything like that, please go ahead and follow the Dear Creative event page, which we have. We do have that, right? Dear Creatives. Yes. Yeah, follow the event page, join it, and we do this show, or I do this show every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 8:45. If I don't do it on a Wednesday, I will let you know through the group or through social media, and you guys can check that out. So thanks for tuning in. Our next episode, we will go deeper into my Marvel-themed episode, and thanks for tuning in. All right, later.